I know it was a Thursday night, which gave me all sorts of opportunity to watch it, but I got to say I did not, uh, as opposed to my typical viewing of college football. So, which means that I very much had an eye on the Miami of Ohio game, and I watched the Texas A&M game with a lot of purpose and intent. This game, though, so I'm going to have to ask the obligatory question: what can be taken from the game on Thursday night?
Still, well, first of all, that Miami of Ohio win looks better because Miami beat Cincinnati, who beat Pittsburgh. So, like that's a game that looks a little, or a win that looks better. Texas A&M is an incredibly talented team, and we knew they were going to be that kind of talented. And then they were able to flash that talent and run over a lesser opponent. So that's a win that continues to look better. So 2 out of your 3 wins already look better than you probably thought that they did at the time of that win. So I'm just saying, 2 out of 3 in that in that sense, not half bad. It's or whatever. But what can be gleaned is really, first of all, just missing a lot of guys with injury, and if there's ever a game that you're going to hold them out, that's going to be the one. So there were a lot of guys. I mean, it was Nigel E. Kelly, Akeem Mesdor, Branson Dean, Mark Fletcher, Cameron Kinchins, a couple other guys too. Even Javion Cohen, the starting left guard, he rotated in or out a little bit, and then Matthew McCoy, a 6'6", 285-pound redshirt freshman, came in at left guard. And I was in the press box and I looked and I go, wait, is the second team offensive line in already, like in the early second quarter? Because that's 78 on offensive line. People are like, no, Cam, and the joke the last week, well, it was not a joke, it's a true statement. I have 20/20 vision. So without binoculars, I saw the wrap on Tyler Van Dyke's finger. So I was like, yo, and they're like, how'd you say? I was like, 20/20 vision. So then that became a derisive comment, like, okay, 20/20 vision. You know that left guard is 7'0", and I go, no, that's 7'8". And he's 3 inches taller than Javion Cohen. Like, it's a different dude. And finally, the next play they ran, I don't know what it was, but you could clearly see the full back of the jersey as he's chasing a defender in a blocking situation. I'm screaming and I said, see, it's 78. And it was early in the second quarter. And it's like, okay, well, he was able to work in with the first team offensive line, or first team offense, first of all, which is great. And, did pretty well. You know, and you get a lot of snaps for pretty much every single scholarship player on the team, with the exception of Jakari Brown. But yeah, it was great to get actual live game experience, and that's how we gave up 7 points at the end. You're playing third string; they're not reading their keys or adjustments. Let a couple plays get loose. Bethune got down the field. They ended up scoring. I wanted the shutout. Everybody wanted the shutout, but I think even, it is better for those players that they were out there and got the live reps. I'm not going to say it's better that we did not shut them out, but I understand how that came to pass or whatever. But really just ran our staples, had our star players be star players. Jacoby George, another touchdown. Xavier Restrepo, this kid is going to have. It's funny. Adam Lichtenstein of the Sun Sentinel, he actually tweeted out. He was like, "Yeah, how many yards is Restrepo going to have this year before he scores his first touchdown? Because he has not scored a touchdown yet." And if you look, I had it queued up and I was looking at something else. Come on, thank you. But I can get here really quickly. Receiving, Xavier Restrepo leads the team with 314 yards receiving, 17 catches for 18 and a half. Colby Young and Jacoby George are both around 200, 209, and 202 respectively, but they have a combined 6 touchdowns. So is it going to be, 400, 500, 600 yards receiving for Restrepo before he finally gets in the end zone? I guess that's kind of a fun game that we can play and we can look at. Maybe this week he finally gets it. And look, we threw him a slot fade against A&M. We've thrown him another couple balls down there in the red zone area. So he's been targeted down there. It just hasn't gotten to the point where he's been the one catching the ball, crossing the line, and doing the celebration. So a little kind of game within a game to look at. But, he's been playing really well. And when you have other guys that can be the touchdown scoring focus of the offense from a passing perspective, now he's able to really cook. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, he's having a great season, but like, he's playing slot. He's not playing outside. He's playing as a number 3, and he's killing these, non-starting DBs. I mean, even though like the nickel DBs are starters, I mean, as evidenced by the number of catches and yards that he's having, like he's lighting these dudes on fire. But then, when it comes time to, really focus in on somebody and score, we're hitting 3 or 4, respectively. And that's bars, by the way, in the passing game. But yeah, really just focusing on cleaning up the things that we need to clean up. We went from 11 penalties to like 5. So you took that in half last week. Really just focus on the little details, get some new guys experience, move on to the next week.
I love this kind of nerdy stuff. I'm going to give you a list of players and you tell me what I'm tracking because I've never thought of this before, but you have piqued my interest. All right. Al Toon, Hakeem Nicks, Deontay Johnson, Raymond Berry, Michael Timpson, Steve Jordan, Ken Payne, Dwayne Bowe, Amani Toomer, Kelvin Martin, Jacoby Myers, Torrey Holt, Keith Byers, John L. Williams, Priest Holmes. We get into the backfield now. James Wilder, Kevin Johnson, Harold Jackson, Eric Parker, Bill Anderson, Jason Avant, Bill Anderson, Jim Lash. You have any idea what that list?
Most yards in NFL season without a touchdown.
Bingo. So right at the top of the list, Al Toon. I wanted to see if anyone got to 1,000. 963 without a touchdown in 1991. The former Wisconsin receiver who played for the New York Jets.
Oh, and that's why his son went there. I was wondering what the connection was when I saw Nick Toon at receiver for Wisconsin. Got it.
I've never looked that up, never crossed my mind, but as soon as you said that, I thought they probably don't have a collegiate list of that.
Right.
I'm not thinking anyone's gone to that degree to try to figure that out. But yeah, some interesting names, blast from the past there from the NFL side. Just I enjoy stuff like that. Falconer TRX, we enjoy you being here, of course, with the super sticker.
Throw it up.
There it is. All right. Folks, we're here to talk Miami football with all of you. John, we appreciate you being here. John D'Adamo supporting the shows. Thank you for that. Jackson Johnson, we're looking at Alabama and Michigan fans there that come into most of the streams, in Miami in particular, to say hey and support the show. So we appreciate you guys.
Randomly, before we get to the next thing, Samuel Hudson and Kobe Hudson, I don't think there's any relation because they're spelled different. Sorry, Samuel Brown and Kobe Hudson have more yards this year than Restrepo, and both have not scored. So he's like number 3 in that ignominious stat so far this year. Random thing, but like, yeah, he's just not getting an end zone, or has not yet, but it's forthcoming.